beautiful people. Welcome back. So, today we are going to do a recap and a review of The Real Housewives of Salt Lake City, Season 3, Episode 14, titled Trials and Tribulations. And this is the season finale for Season 3. Oh boy, it was a doozy. Let's get through it. So, we start out with Heather walking the venue for her book cover reveal. So as you guys know, Heather is writing a book, or by now it's written, and she was conflicted of whether to write it or not because of what possibly her family would be thinking. So she was conflicted, how would my mother feel about it? How would her cousins feel? But the producers kept calling her and asking her for the book. So she's finally doing a book reveal cover at this point. I don't think it was written yet, but by now, with the episode aired and the reviews coming in, I believe the book is done. I am not sure. I think the book is done. So we see her walk in the venue with the coordinator, and she's liking how everything is set up. She has an area for the choir to sing. The book is gonna be 5 feet by 4 feet tall, and they're just looking at it, and it's gonna be an evening, like a sunset event. So they walk the event she walks the venue with the event coordinator, and give the okay, and far as yes, this will be the spot that we're gonna do it in. So we leave that there. Then we visit everybody at home getting ready for the event. We see Whitney practicing her song. And Justin had the comment like, wait a minute, you're supposed to be dressed in cocktail, however you're going to be singing Christian songs. And they found that to be ironic, as it is. We see Lisa practicing as well, because remember, all these people are part of the choir. So we see Lisa practicing as well. We see he's telling John, she's like, I don't know how I'm gonna be able to sing when I can't even hear myself. So John, with his comedic self, he's like, what? And Lisa repeats it, and he's like, what? So she finally gets it that he's messing with her. So that was cute to see. We see Seth and Meredith also getting ready for the event. So yeah, we visit everybody getting ready for the event. Now we are at the event. We see Heather arrives first. She introduces herself to the bartender and let him know, listen, start pouring the shots, because by the time, pretty soon I'll be in outer darkness, as she calls it. So she's still feeling bad about having to do this, but she has to go through with it because she's obligated. Then we see everybody starts arriving now. At one point, the place gets full. We see the choir come in, our family members come in. She introduces us to her cousins. They made a little bit of joke about one of them having their arms out, and she might be the next one to be the bad Mormon. And then, Heather makes the rounds and says hi to everybody. Then we see Angie K and Lisa and Whitney get together. And Angie K lets us know that at the end of the last event, where it was Meredith's fashion show and fundraiser event, after that, Jen pulled a mutual friend aside to tell them that that Angie K is the one who punched Heather in her eye, and that's why she has a black eye. So of course Angie gets upset. She's like, don't ruin my good name, and I have to talk to her about it. So she said at some point during the night, she's going to pull Jen aside and talk to her about saying that to somebody. So then she kind of made a joke where she said, what probably happened is that her Heather and Jen were playing Barbie Scissor Kicks. Oh, what the hell is Barbie Scissor Kicks? And it must not have been good. That's why somebody got hit in the eye. Of course, we have to explain. Lisa found that to be hilarious. We had Whitney looking wide-eyed and naive, like, what do you mean? What's Barbie Scissor Kicks? So I think they had to explain that to her. And then she's like, when she got the visual, She was like, nah. So Angie K was not having it. She is not about to have her bad name ruined. All right, so she's like, this is the final straw. And then she sees Jen arrive, and they're like, all right, we're gonna have to get to this at some point. Now, um, was it before or after? Yeah, we have the choir perform. We have Heather do her book reveal and take her pictures and stuff like that. Thank everybody for coming. And then we see Coach Shaw pull Chris and Angie H to the side. Remember, Chris and Angie H are the two responsible for the Instagram page called Shaw Exposed that Chris created to spy on Lisa, however they name it, Shaw Exposed. And with Jen going through her trial and whatever, it was just a bad look. So Coach was the one stepped to Chris and like, yo, what was that about, man? I'm paraphrasing, but what was that about? Chris looked really ashamed. He hung his head and he tried to go in and explain it, but then finally he just gave up and was like, look, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. It should not have been done, and I feel bad about it. So he got his support from his wife rubbing his back. We had Coach Shaw going. Coach Shaw is a cool guy. Once you admit what you do, he's good with it. So he gave Chris a handshake and a hug, and everybody in the room was watching to see the interaction between them because they thought it was gonna get crazy, but it didn't. Everything worked out right, and they're on good terms now. Not good, but they're on good terms right now. Somebody made the comment that how do we have a book reveal with no book? But we have a book cover reveal with no book. That's what we have going on. And we just dropped that. It's like, I think it was Lisa who said it. She's like, that's like me having a tequila tequila reveal with no tequila. How do we do that? All right, now we see Whitney come over and she's talking to Jen. And I forgot what they were talking about, but we see Angie K wanting to go over, but she didn't want to do it alone. So Dana is like, okay, girl, I'll come with you. Let's go. So they get over there, and by this time now, we see Meredith sees what happened, and she heads over there too. And Lisa sees what happened, and then we head over there too. It's similar to how we ended another season. I think it was season 1, where there was a party, and everybody was standing around the table, and I think that's how it typically ends. The last episode usually ends with them all being at some event. We have a big blow up, and then we have to wait till next season to see what happens. So this is what's going on. So she's talking to Whitney, and I believe Lisa's like, where's my apology for something? I forget what was going on, but Angie K was like, why is it you go tell so and so that I punched Heather in the eye? She's like, Jen was like, that's a lie. I never told that person that. Then Jen called Coach Shaw over like, Sharif, come over here. She brings Sharif into the middle of it. And Angie K says to Jen, you're causing problems all over the place. I went to bat for you with Angie H. And now you're telling people that I hit Heather in the eye. You're telling people that, you try to unalive yourself. Was that even true? So everybody's standing there with their face like, oh no, did Angie K really, really say that? And Jen was like, I'm not standing here for this. So she leaves Coach Shaw with the ladies and she walks away. And the cameras try to follow her, and she's like, I don't want to be on film right now. So the cameras leave her alone. And then she comes back to the little group after Coach is there defending her and saying to Angie K, how could you say something like that? That's something very serious. Nobody would lie or make a joke about that. So Jen comes back and she's like, I think it's time for us to leave. So she and Coach Shaw leave. Now we thought that was the end of the season, because at the end of the season, when the last episode, when they do their little goodbyes and they write up what's going to happen, what's about to happen with each person coming up, or, this is where we left it, this is unresolved or whatever. They did all that. But then that was in like the mid part of the episode. So I'm like, there's got to be more to this because it's just like 15 minutes in. There's got to be more. So, of course, there is more. Now we see it says 3 months later. So that would be in July because I believe the party happened in April or May. So in July, we see, Jen with her mom. They're sitting on the stoop talking, and it's 4 days out to the trial now. And Jen mom's comes over, or she went to her mom's house. I don't know how it happened, but I believe her mom came to her house. They're sitting on the stoop outside, and her mom said to her, I know you're innocent, right? And Jen did not answer her. You could tell right then and there that Jen was guilty. You can't lie to mom. No matter how hard you try, you cannot lie to your mother, especially if you were raised right. You can't lie to mom. So mom just ignored it and kept talking. We see clips of her and her mom together. At some point, we see where Jen tell her mom, thank you for helping me through this. Thank you for cashing out your retirement fund and finding whatever money you can to help me. And her mom is like, of course I'm going to help you because you're innocent. So therefore, I have to help you. You're my daughter. All right. We see Coach Shaw taking the suitcases to the car and stuff like that. And she bids her mom goodbye, and then they leave. We see they fly off to New York. They arrive in Manhattan. And they go inside of the hotel. Jen is in her room. And then I'm like, okay, did any of the ladies come to support her? And then we see that Heather and actually Meredith has made it to New York to support her. They go to Jen and Shaw's room just to talk to them a little bit. Talk to them about, how the family and, how it's affecting the boys and stuff. It's affecting Coach Shaw. And we have clips of Jen and Heather talking back at home where Heather tells her that, listen, if the worst come to worst and there is ever an outcome where I may have to go away based on what's being said, then please make sure that you check in on my the boys and Sharif. Just make sure that they're good. And of course, Heather's like, you're my friend. Yes, I'm going to do that for you. I definitely will. So then they asked Jen, so what's up for the day? And Jen says she has to go and see the attorneys. And then, from there, then they just move on. So Seth was also with them on the trip, Meredith's husband, but he wasn't in the room. But we see him and the other two ladies at lunch. We see them go to lunch. And And Seth actually asked the question, have you guys ever asked Jen if she was innocent? And they both have this look on their face like, damn, we really didn't. So then Heather says, if my friend tells me that she's innocent, then I'm going to be there for my friend. Meredith was like, I'm not putting my faith in anybody. I'm just going to see the outcome and I'm going to take it from there. I'll be here for her as a friend, but I'm not involved in myself because I don't want to be looked at as a co-conspirator. So therefore, I'm not getting involved, but I will be here to support her from as far of a distance or as close of a distance as I can. So that was the conversation with them at lunch. Then we see same evening now, the ladies, I believe Jen probably went to Heather's and Meredith's room and they're talking. And then, like most people said, it's based on what the witness statements said. I believe that is why Jen chose change her plea. She saw how many people took the plea and took the sentence. She saw the victim statement. She saw how many victim statements, and she saw the potential of her going away for the maximum of 30 years. So Jen decided, okay, you know what? This ain't gonna, this is not about it. I believe it's on the advice of her attorney and her husband that Jen said, you know what? We're not gonna go in this. We're not gonna put everything out there. If I take a plea deal, then the public won't know exactly how bad it was. So I believe that's why she took a plea deal. So Jen says that Stuart turned on her. She said that Stuart played her and he turned on her. And then at one point the producer asked her, so are you going to tell us the real story now? Jen just looked away from the camera like she's not going to talk about it. And that is the reason why Jen did not go to the reunion. She put it out there that, the producers let her know that they needed to actually talk about the case. And she said that based on her attorney's advice, that being that it was an ongoing case, because she hadn't been sentenced yet when this was being filmed, that she could not talk about it. So the fact that she pled guilty, because the girls came to support her, because she said she wasn't guilty and she was coming in to make her not guilty plea, so they're standing up for her friend being not guilty. But the fact that she went in and changed her plea, I think it made Meredith and Heather like, wait a minute. It put a light on it, and like, something's not right. For her to do that, then it's not right. So we see Heather's face in the room as Jen is telling them, they're asking their questions, and you could just see the veil just peeling back. You could see the look on Heather's face, like, this girl did this shit. She really did this. So then, okay, we left them there, and then we go back to Utah. I believe they put something on the screen about what Jen pled to, wire fraud, and that at the film, when they were editing this to put it up, by then she was sentenced, so they put she has been sentenced to 6.5 years in federal prison. So then we go back to Utah. Now we have Meredith and Heather meeting up for lunch, and Lisa, not Meredith, we have Heather and Lisa meeting up for lunch. Yes, we have Heather and Lisa meeting up for lunch, and Lisa's asking, so how did everything go? And then Heather is letting her know, and I'm finding something out from Heather that I didn't know. I know it was a lot of people, but I didn't know the actual amount of people. So it so happened that Jen and her group victimized 3,500 people. That's the number that they came up with, that many people that they had. So she said what she think happened is that Coach discovered what Jen was doing. This is Heather talking. She says she think that Coach discovered what Jen was doing, and when he started reading the victim statements and the list of victims, because he was like, she said, her husband and her attorney in one, that he was looking at everything. And when he saw the victim statements and, the amount of people, most likely he said to Jen, you know what? I'm going to hold it down. You need to be held accountable for what you did. You need to plead guilty, and you need to go do whatever jail time you can. So she thinks that based on Coach's advice, that's why Jen actually decided to plead guilty and not go to trial. We see Lisa crying because she's like, Jen actually has a 16-year-old son, that he's going to have to go through the rest of high school and probably college without his mom by his side. And it's just sad. We also know that Jen has another son who is trying to get into medical school. I'm not sure if he actually succeeded yet. And she just feels so bad for the whole family. Like they said, it's they're overwhelmed with grief at the moment, knowing that this is their friend. Even though she can be a little bit high-strung, they still consider her a friend, and they wanted to be there for her. But the fact that so many people were victimized, and she's been doing it for years, they're kind of conflicted. Like, who do you feel bad for? Do you feel bad for the victims, or do you feel bad for her? But they say all around it's just an overwhelming sense of grief. And it was just sad to see them two go. And I think that Heather was angry at one point, because you know what she said? You know what, Lisa? I think she did that stuff. I think she did that shit, and it's not right. She's not right. And it was just very sad. And the fact that she's been going hard for her friend for so long, and she's been lied to as well. She's like, is she truthful to anybody about anything? So that's where we are with it. That was the conversation between Heather and Lisa at lunch. And like I said, Lisa broke down crying, because overall it's very sad. She's going away for a long time. She victimized a lot of people, and it wasn't just her. I'm just, because we're focusing on Jen right now, that her and her team did all that. Like, to Heather's point, she's like, how is it? Because Jen was telling them that Stuart played her. So Heather went in the confessional. She's like, how is it that the person who buys your chips, who goes out and get your toiletries, who does everything for you, you're going to tell me that he's around you 24/7 and you don't know what he's doing and he's throwing you under the bus? She's like, you goddamn lying. Ain't no way that's going to happen. You're going to see it from a mile away. And that is why I've been asking the questions in the Facebook group. And I also think that, her husband to a point knew what was happening. And to Heather's point, she said, if Coach knew what was happening from the beginning, he also needs to be held accountable. So we don't know what is going to happen. We know that there's still people who are out there from the group who are waiting to be sentenced. Like I said, I've been following this reporter on Twitter. What is the name of the Twitter page? I can't think about it right now, but I will put it in the description, and you go and click on the page at Inner City Press. That's the name of the Twitter page, Inner City Press. He was in the courtroom on the day of sentencing, giving us the play-by-play of what was happening, actually giving us the quote as the judge was, whatever the judge was saying, whatever the district attorney was saying, the defense attorney was saying. He was typing it word for word. So we felt like we were there. And then he told us how many years she got sentenced to. So that's who I follow for most of the news regarding Jen Shah and her team. Like I said, there's more people to be sentenced, and he will actually go in and let us know when they were sentenced, how many years they got, whatever. There were also parts of the transcript that was redacted, and I believe he's filing to have it to be able to see it, and he's going to share that with us when it's actually revealed, because we need to know more information. So as far as we know at this point, yes, Jen Shah, the season is over, so we're going to have the reunion coming up soon, and Jen will not be there, but we're going to address other people and their issues. We know that Meredith and Lisa has an issue. We know that Whitney and Heather have an issue, so they're going to be talking about that. I guess we're going to know who's going to be part of the new cast for season 4. I will hope that Angie K will still be there. Dana, who's the newborn carrier, I kind of like her. I don't know. She don't let nothing slip. She go come in your face. So her and Angie K, I think, are probably going to come back for season 4. Of course, Jen will not be there for season 4. She'll be doing her time. She is scheduled to report to the federal prisons on February 17th of 2023, and to start serving her 6.5-year sentence. I believe her attorneys are asking for her to be housed in a facility in Texas, and a specific one at that. It's one close to home, and it's one that has what they call a RHAP program, which is residential drug abuse program. And if she gets into that facility and gets into that program where she, I believe she goes to class, they graduate and they get a certificate. And also with that, she will get some time shaved off her sentence. And the reason that they're saying that about, the drug abuse program is rumored out here, allegedly that Jen drinks a lot to the point where she's considered an alcoholic. Allegedly, I'm not saying that, that's what is being out there. And when she completes that program, she'll get a certificate and sometime at 12 to 18 months shaved off her sentence. So she might, do 5 years max, or maybe even a little bit less, but she is to report to federal prisons on February 17th. And the judge told her attorney in court that, I won't ask for that specific facility. However, I will ask for some place in Texas. So let's see actually where she's going. I will actually do another video on it and let you guys know where she is being housed. So that is it. That is the season finale of The Real Housewives of Salt Lake City, season 3 finale, episode 14, titled Trials and Tribulations. It's going to be interesting to see who the new who's going to be added to the cast for next season, and how they're going to handle the fact that their friend is not there anymore. So thank you guys, and until next time, Be sure to be sure. Thank you guys. And until next time, take care of yourselves and your families. Bye bye.